Hello, and welcome to another episode of Defining Your Brand podcast. On today's episode, I spoke with Hayley, and she shared with me her journey from learning nutrition in college to starting her own food delivery service to eventually ending up where she is now, teaching people how to make nutritious meals at home. I don't know about you, but especially during this COVID time, I could definitely learn how to eat better, learn what to shop for and all of that, and she helps us do just that. So I hope you enjoy this episode. All right. Well, Hayley, thank you so much for joining me today. For those who don't know you, tell us a little bit about what you do.
All right. So I'm Hayley. I got my degree in nutrition and exercise physiology, and I started out as a nutrition educator, which led me to founding a meal prep and delivery service. And now I teach people how to cook healthy and meal prep at home.
Nice. How long ago did you start the meal prep business?
I started that while I was at my corporate job. When I was a nutrition educator, I mean, kind of you're a naive college graduate and you get out there, and I really had this huge dream, like I'm going to help change the face of American health as it is today. And I got out there and I just thought it was about education. People just need to know what they should be eating. They're just misinformed. So I started doing these presentations and talking to people and realized that the issue isn't that people don't know what to eat. It wasn't a lack of education. Most everyone can tell you what healthy is and what healthy isn't. The issue was that people can't get those foods on their table. We kind of, as adults, busy adults with jobs and kids and social lives, we get into these loops of convenience. So it's like, I'm going to eat whatever's quickest, most convenient, is going to feed me or my family for the next meal. And we're just always stuck in that loop. So getting out there, talking to people, seeing that the real problem was that they can't get the healthy foods on their table. I would talk about cooking at home and everyone would raise their hand and say, well, I only eat McDonald's or I'm only at the drive-thru. So what can I do? What can I eat off the dollar menu? I was like, okay, I got to do something. So I started cooking for people at home, founded this delivery service. I started that before I took it full-time. So probably a year and a half before I was out of my corporate job doing it full-time. I was just running it as a side hustle while I was working my corporate job.
Oh, wow. So, and then how long did you do that before you kind of are in the realm that you are now?
Yeah. So let's see, we got to go back. So the May, which is going to be tomorrow.
Yeah.
Will be our 2-year anniversaries. Okay. Yeah. So I ran that business for 2 years full-time, like out of my corporate job, a year and a half before I quit my corporate job. So 3.5 years for that business. And the meal prep and delivery service ran up until March when COVID hit and we got totally shut down for the meal prep and delivery. It was actually perfect timing. I had been working on an online course teaching people how to do it at home for like a couple months, and it was set to launch like the week that the meal prep and delivery service got shut down. So it worked out perfectly, and now I'm just teaching people how to do that for themselves online.
Gotcha. So what, like for you, how is it different for you? Like the difference between actually creating a meal for someone versus teaching someone how to do that? Like why is that important for you? And what is the difference between the two?
Yeah. So I kind of started thinking, I don't know, like 6 months ago that, if I had this big dream to like help Americans like change their health, that giving them a healthy, ready to eat meal wasn't helping. It was part of the problem. So I was just keeping people in that loop of convenience. And if something happened to my healthy option, people were just going to have to revert back to the last thing that they were using as far as like convenient meals, which is probably frozen foods or the drive-through or the gas station, or the nasty salad bar. So I felt like there was a big, again, like I kind of got to this place where I was like, there's something missing. And I'm not serving people to the best of my ability, handing out fish and nobody knows how to fish. Like if I'm not there to give these fish out anymore, everyone's going to be screwed, which is what happened when COVID hit. So for me, it was really important, and it is really important to teach people how to do this for themselves at home. Most of us are raised in households that, you know, if cooking is involved, it's, you know, haphazard, it's scattered, it's tonight but not tomorrow night, and grocery shopping is like, you know, today because we ran out of food yesterday, but there's no plan, there's no structure around it. And so being raised in, you know, that type of environment around cooking, it's like, why would this be something that I'm going to implement in my life? Because it was just, you know, kind of hectic and stressful for my parents, or, you know, or we didn't do it at all. And we just did whatever was most convenient. You know, we're in drive-through on the way to our sports lesson or whatever. So it is really important for us to get back to having the ability to do this for ourselves at home for so many reasons. It goes beyond the health factor, which of course, if you can cook at home, that's the only way you're going to know exactly what's going into your food, have complete control over what you're eating. If you're trying to follow a special diet, cooking at home is how you do that. But beyond that, it's about getting your time back. We don't realize how much time we spend trying to source every meal when none of our meals have a plan. So if you think about like your lunch break at work every day, you know, 30 minutes or an hour, you're spending that entire time trying to figure out what you're going to go eat, or go to the salad bar, or go to Chipotle, or like, you know, frozen lean cuisine meal that you don't really like and it's not really satisfying, and then you have to go to the vending machine. Like this, we are spending so much time trying to source every single meal when we have not planned ahead. And then outside of that, how much money are you spending on every single meal? You know, a $7 meal, you know, at Chipotle, or maybe it's probably more like $10. We might not think that, you know, $7 to $10 per, you know, lunch out is that much. It's not that expensive, but when you multiply that by, you know, 5, 7, 15 times per week that you're eating every meal out, it adds up. And we don't realize that, yes, a grocery bill of, you know, $150 looks like a lot more, but if that feeds you and your family every meal for the rest of the week, that's actually a huge savings compared to, you know, $8 for your drive-through meal or whatever.
Right. Because then essentially it's like you're spending the same amount of money for one person for maybe one meal every day for the week versus feeding a family for every day for every meal for a week. So I can totally see that, how that kind of, it seems scary, but it's really, in the long run, it's way better.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So tell me a little bit about, I'd love to learn more about you as a business and kind of, I mean, it sounds like you studied, if I remember correctly, you said you studied kind of nutrition in college, and that's how you got into this?
Yeah, exactly. So got my degree in nutrition and exercise physiology, and started out as a nutrition educator. So it was my job to go out and speak to people about eating for health. And that's what I thought was going to change the nation's health at that time. But yeah, that's been my passion since school.
Awesome. So now that you're kind of on a different track, tell us about your business now. What's the name of it, and kind of what does it look like for what you're doing now?
Yeah, so Basically at Meals is still the name. I may rebrand and once we're like really established in, you know, 6 months to a year. But yeah, Basically at Meals. And now I have the meal prep course, which is where I teach you how to basically implement all of the planning steps and processes that I use to run my meal prep and delivery service. The format behind the scenes steps that I use to, you know, cook hundreds of meals and prep all of this food in only a couple of hours a week. That's what I teach in the meal prep course. So you can take all of those steps and implement that at home. And it is incredible how cooking at home and meal prepping changes when you have a little bit of planning behind it and a little bit of expertise to help you with that. You know, if it's been like unenjoyable, scattered, frustrating, overwhelming before. If you have someone to kind of say like, okay, you do this, this, and this, it's a lot more fun. It's a lot more freeing. It's not stressful. And it goes so much faster and you save so much more money.
Yeah, would you say that like that's one of the biggest complaints that you maybe hear about is time and money?
I think, yes, I hear both of those. I don't know if it depends on who you're talking to, but there's also a lot of stress, anxiety, overwhelm, confusion. Just, it's not fun. I don't like it. I make a mess that goes into all of that too. So it is about saving time and it is about money. That's what I, as your teacher, want for you, because I know that it's possible. But I also want people to realize that cooking doesn't have to be a miserable experience. It doesn't have to be stressful or frustrating. You don't have to completely mess up your kitchen. In the course, I actually show you there's only 6 real tools that everybody needs in their kitchen. Outside of that, you're just overdoing it. You're, again, spending money you don't need to. Getting out tools that aren't those, it's like you're just making extra dishes for yourself. So
Right.
I want the process to be less hectic, less stressful, less frustrating for people, and also save you time and money.
I mean, isn't that what we all want, is to save time and money?
Yes.
Yes. So I'm curious, like, considering the time that we're in now, like this quarantine, everybody's home, are you seeing like a trend of what people are doing in their homes as far as cooking goes?
Yes. I mean, we've kind of all been forced to switch over in some respect. Whatever we were doing before is probably less available and less convenient now. So most of us are going to the grocery store, trying that maybe for the first time, trying cooking at home maybe for the first time in a while. So yeah, it's been huge. It's been hugely helpful for the people who have joined since all of this started. It's like, that's just a relief that I don't have to spend an hour in the grocery store anymore. I know now I have a process to get my in and out and not be exposed longer than I have to be.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. No time, like right now, people want to get that done quickly. They don't want to spend too much time doing that.
Yeah, exactly. Especially if the kids are, home and like they're not at school, they don't have activities anymore.
Right.
Let's get you in and out of the kitchen.
Yeah. So I've seen you kind of in your journey do some spots like on the local television show, and I'd love to hear kind of what you have done there in that partnership and what that looks like for your business.
Yeah, so local media started last January or February. I got contacted by Show Me St. Louis to do, like, they do 2 kind of portions of that show. It's like one, like a featured portion, and then they have a live cooking segment. So they asked to do a feature on the business. Show Me St. Louis is a local television program that features like local businesses and local, I don't know, personalities or people who have stuff to talk about. So they did a feature on my business, and then at that time it was just the meal prep and delivery service. And then I came on the next month to do the live cooking segment, which is where you go on and you do a recipe live on the show. And it was super fun. I had so much fun.
That's cool. I feel like that would be stressful.
That we just decided, I don't know. It wasn't at all. It's not. It goes fast, but you just, I don't know, you get in the zone and you're talking about what you're so
about.
That helps a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was a monthly segment. And then I started one up with Fox 2 News as well. Maybe in the fall of 2019, I think we started that. And then most recently, since obviously those are live shows, you go into the studio and you do them live. Since COVID, nobody's doing that anymore. So I switched over to doing like what's in your pantry segment, where I film everything at home, and then I do a portion, like a pre-recorded portion with the host on FaceTime. We FaceTime and like record it, and then he edits everything together, the clips that I've pre-recorded, and then hit me and his like talking back and forth, and makes this nice little segment on Channel 5 every week.
Hey, that's kind of awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. I mean, thank God for technology.
Yeah, I mean, and what we definitely need it right now to be able to run our businesses. I mean, I've been talking to people a lot about how beneficial like this wouldn't have happened, and people actually being able to work and being able to sustain their business during this, something like this wouldn't have been able to happen before. So it's kind of amazing that we can do that now.
Yeah, it's so true. So true.
Yeah. So have you seen it be a benefit in your business? Because it seems like what you're doing now is pretty remote.
Yeah, again, thank God for technology, because when having the ability to switch everything to online and put a course online that just can hang out online, and I don't have to go out and work with a team and a staff or my clients and my guests in like live situations, to be able to just put that online and promote it from online from my house at the computer is incredible.
Yeah. Today's sponsor is brought to you by Live Well, Love Well Apparel. Live Well, Love Well Apparel is a t-shirt company, but it's not just a t-shirt company. I mean, how many times have you bought a t-shirt and that you've loved, but it's actually not doing anything other than just being an extra t-shirt in your closet? How many of you have bought something to support a cause or support an organization, and you bought something, but it may be something that you never wear or never really cared about? Live Well, Love Well Apparel is changing that. So how it's doing that is that it is designing t-shirts that you actually want to wear. This material is soft, it's got tri-blend material, it's comfortable, and it's just an amazing t-shirt, and something that, like I said, you want to wear and want to pair with other things in your closet. And not only that, but it's a company that gives back. So this company right now is donating the proceeds to No Kid Hungry. No Kid Hungry is an organization that helps kids that may not have access to food at home. So when they go to school, that they have a meal that's provided for them. Right now in this pandemic though, kids don't have that opportunity. They're not at school where school lunches are provided. So No Kid Hungry is making sure that these kids that normally have food provided for them still have a meal. So go check out Live Well, Love Well Apparel by going to lwlwapparel.com. So are you basically a one woman show then, as far as your business goes?
We are now. When I was running the meal prep and delivery service, I had 6 staff members, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was really not fun closing that and kind of telling everyone what was going on. So yeah, now doing the online stuff, it's just me. It's real easy to run on my own, and yeah.
Cool. So basically everything that you're teaching is educational as far as, what people have. Is it more of what they can actually make with what they have, or is it, this is what you should go have, and kind of things that you should have in your house?
It's a little bit of both of those things, but it's mostly the planning that goes into meal prepping. And when I say that to people, they're like, I don't know what you're talking about. What would I need to plan? And that's the problem. We're not raised with learning any sort of planning and processing to go behind anything, which is exactly what I had to do when I ran a meal prep and delivery service. If you're going to make 500 meals in 5 hours, you better have a plan. You better know exactly what you're going to do. So that's what I teach. And for anyone who that still sounds like really crazy, you probably start at the grocery store, and you get to the store and you kind of walk around, try to throw some things in your cart, things you've tried before or things you want to try. You get all of those groceries home. There are no recipes. There is no plan for anything. It all goes in the fridge. Later on in the week, at some point, you probably try to, okay, we'll pull out that chicken. I've used that before. Or, that kale that I wanted to try, that's going to stay in the crisper drawer because I don't know what to do with it. that's what normally happens. And so we end up with some food that's cooked. A lot of times when we do cook, it's for one single meal. So we make enough to eat for now, tonight for dinner, and tomorrow for lunch. I'm going back to, the drive-thru or whatever it is.
Right.
And that is the problem. Like if we don't have a plan for the food that we're going to buy, if we don't have a plan for how that's going to get made and how that's going to end up in a fridge and how we're going to eat for every day for the rest of the week for every single meal, then we're going to end up spending a lot of extra time, a lot of extra money. We're going to have a fridge full of groceries that end up getting thrown away. 20% of the American grocery bill lands in the trash. And I would say it's probably a lot higher than that based on the amount of planning that most of us put into cooking at home. So it is about teaching you how to know exactly what you're going to cook for the week, how to make a grocery list, how to get to the grocery store and not get sucked into the grocery store's fantastic planning, which is set up to have you spend a lot of time and a lot of money in there. Like how to get out of that. Most of us don't know that grocery stores play on decision fatigue and are specifically designed for us to go through that process and end up throwing a bunch of stuff in our cart that we didn't really want. How to get into the kitchen and get everything done so that you don't have a fridge full of groceries. Instead, you have a fridge full of ready to eat meals. So that's what we do in the meal prep course.
Nice. So what, as far as the planning side of things, because it sounds like that's what you are saying is probably the most important part of the whole process. Like, is there any kind of takeaways that you can give people to be, kind of a step in the right direction as far as the planning goes? Because I'm sure a lot of people find that overwhelming.
Yeah, and it can feel overwhelming, especially if you're not familiar with it. So where everyone needs to start deciding what your house, you need to have a couple recipes ready to go. In the meal prep course, I teach you how to even break down and make your own recipes. So if you're trying to follow a special diet, it's really great for that. I have a couple clients who have just gone keto or gluten-free, and it's a really simple process for that. But either way, you got to pick your recipes ahead of time. And then those recipes, the ingredients in there become your grocery list. You make the grocery list, you have to write that down, and you take that to the store with you. This is I see throughout this whole entire process, every step, some people do this step, some people do this step, but we're always skipping steps. My favorite thing is to skip the grocery list because I don't enjoy making it. And then what happens is I get to the store, I've picked my recipes, but I don't remember what I need to buy when I get to the store. So I wander around for much longer than I need to. I buy things I already have or that I didn't need to buy in the first place. And so we got to know our recipes, make a grocery list, and take it with us to the store.
Yes. Because one of the biggest things that I do, and I hate it, is you think that you know everything that you're going to get, and then you go and then you come home and then there's that one essential thing that you needed that then you can't make any of it because you missed that one key ingredient.
Oh yeah, exactly. And then you have to go back to the store. Or you just say, screw it, and I'm not doing it at all.
You're like, it's a pizza night tonight. That's what's going to happen. Yeah.
Yes.
Awesome.
Oh, yes.
So for people that are interested in what you are doing, can you tell us a little bit what your website looks like, what that process looks like if they want to be a part of what you're doing?
Yeah, it's real simple. The URL is bit.ly/MP course, all lowercase. And it's really simple. You just go there, you sign up, and you get the course. It's lifetime access. It's videos and printable, downloadable documents. So if you want to on your fridge, bring it to the grocery store with you, you can always come back to the videos as well. I'm with you there, step by step through the process. And yeah, super simple.
Awesome. Are you going through specific meals or specific recipes, or is it kind of an overall education?
So I demo specific recipes in the course. In the last step, we get into the kitchen and cook together. And so in that portion, I'm doing specific recipes, and then I show you how to do pick your recipes and do your groceries and that kind of stuff. So those are specific recipes, but as a whole, I'm not teaching specific recipes. I'm not teaching a specific diet. You bring whatever you want as far as foods into the course with you. So if you've got a cookbook that you want to try, if you're trying to follow a special diet, you know, vegan, vegetarian, keto, gluten-free, like that's fantastic. You bring that into the course with you, and I will show you how to go through the process and save yourself time and money and make it stress-free and not frustrating.
Nice. Well, what does business for you look like going forward? I mean, it sounds like you're kind of in the beginning phases, as we all have just been forced into something that we weren't expecting to be. What's your plan going forward? Or is this just kind of where we are now because we're right at the beginning of it? It sounds like for you, at least.
Yeah, I mean, it is like starting new, which is really fun and exciting. So I want to grow this like educational piece as much as possible. I think it is the change that is going to happen if United States is going to get healthy. Like this is what we need this is the information that we need. So I'm super passionate about it. I'm just plan to get that message out wherever I can, and teach as many people how to do this as I can. And then I've got some other ideas for other things that I want to teach and help people with. We'll just see how everything unfolds and rolls out. This is where I'm going to focus right now.
Awesome. Well, where can people find you if they want to see what you're doing or see announcements, what's to come, all of that kind of stuff?
Yeah, so Facebook's a great place. It's at basically it meals. And then Instagram too. I do a lot of Instagram stories, which is fun. And that's at basically _it_.
Awesome. And I will, I'll make sure to link everything down below too. So if you can send me the website and I'll put it all that so people can link to that really easy too. So
sounds good.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, what can you leave us with anything kind of going forward as we're all stuck at home? Any like words of wisdom from the nutritional side of things? Since, I mean, from what I hear, everybody's eating like their emotions right now. I mean,
yes.
I am maybe.
Hey, it's not like I've been there too during this whole thing, you know, we all have our days.
Right.
I think just note to everyone, like your health is more important now than ever. And I'm saying that on so many different levels, like take care of your stress levels and your brain. And, you know, if you're using food to help with your emotions, that's okay. Beating yourself up about it isn't going to help.
Right.
So just slow down, try to reduce your stress in any way you can. Anything that you can do to make your life easier right now, other than drinking, is going to be helpful.
Yeah. I should have asked you, do you have like anything simple right now that people can just like make at home, or something that maybe you're making at home right now?
Oh yeah. So the What's in Your Pantry segment that I've been doing every week with Rennie Knott has a ton of like really good recipes and ideas for you to make items that you probably already have in your pantry. They're all like really simple and it's stuff you've got at home. So what we made, it'll air on Monday of next week, but we did a cereal crusted chicken. Like how simple is that? It's like crispy, crunchy, really delicious. Great way to use up cereal if you've got like a stale box. Last week we did a canned green bean hash. So just a like really fun, different way to use a can of green beans, not like a casserole covered with cream of nasty soup. So like green beans and sweet potato hash browns and a little turkey. So yeah, I think get in your pantry, get creative, have some fun.
Nice. I like it. Well, thank you so much for doing this and joining me and kind of sharing your wisdom with all of us. And hopefully we can all stay healthy during this time.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely.